And welcome back to number 47.
Episode of the Not So Perfect Podcast.
Ooh, I like that.
As always, Matt Shin here alongside my lovely co-host,
Gerardo Cornejo.
Welcome.
Welcome back and welcome back the heat.
Welcome to, yes, I just had a client that just left the gym and I told her, welcome back to the sauna.
Yes.
They just got back from Florida where they said it was still equally hot, but they were very close to a big body of water.
There's no place like home. Good old Midwest.
Yep.
And with this heat, school is starting.
This weekend
a
next.
couple of schools are already starting.
Private schools, I think, are starting today and tomorrow, and then public schools start next Monday.
My crew, I think they have another week, but I guess next Monday is the day.
I know Jeff City Public Schools start Monday.
Is the 24th next Monday? Mm-hmm. My kids start next Monday.
Yeah.
I'll need to rewatch this podcast.
Guess what I was just reminded of too is that the 28th is our first Capital City race meeting. So
it's back. You got a good man.
No, we had a couple more weeks, but I was reminded today that we don't.
Welcome back to being creative.
Yes. Thank you for putting it that way.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you guys for tuning in again. Hopefully our mics are back to action. We had
a couple weeks of maybe some there may have been some sabotage, maybe some local podcasters saw how good ours was and tried to take us down a peg or two. But either way, we troubleshot it, we powered through it, and it's going to take more than some simple sabotage to get us off our routine.
We didn't stop, we kept hammering.
Because that's our routine.
Yes, sir.
We've got it etched in stone.
Yes, and if you watched till the end of our last podcast, our announcement was that we will be live on the radio with Mr. the Judge.
The Honorable
Cotton Walker.
Judge Cotton Walker.
And congratulations on your re-election.
Yep.
And what's the name of the radio show we're on?
It's the KWOS morning radio show. Usually it's done with Hal Dooley as the original announcer, but Judge Walker is standing in for him. And we were fortunate enough to be asked by the judge to come on and be his special guests.
Yep.
So we're excited about that. So Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Did you say Judge posted something on socials?
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Check out Judge Walker's social medias. We'll put a post in the link. I just told Gerardo I think I am locked out of Facebook, so I can't even...
Well, you're being tagged on stuff, so
cool.
Your name's still popping up.
Cool. So yeah, don't look at my stuff because I can't look at it. So I haven't been able to post anything. But check out Gerardo's. We'll have it in the description links. Or Judge Walker's social medias.
Yeah, it's exciting. We didn't think we'd ever get a radio interview or whatever, but we get to go on there and talk about our podcast and what we do for the community.
Yep. Yeah, so a lot of it we're going to be talking about just, the podcast, men's mental health, We've, in this town alone, we've seen a lot of families hit hard by the men's mental health epidemic that's kind of running through our community right now. So,
weekly, daily.
Same message we're going to do day in and day out. Any chance we get to spread that message, we're going to do it. So very honored and privileged to be on the KWS Morning Radio Show. I've been on it once before, or maybe twice. Once or twice before, strictly for the Capital City race. I think the first couple of years I was able to maybe get on there and promote that.
Cool.
So ours was done at Hy-Vee though in the cafeteria lunchroom area.
So we're stepping it up.
We're going to be in studio, so we'll be all professional.
I will take some pointers of microphone checks and lighting.
Yeah.
And cameras.
Yeah. Did you guys check your?
Shout out to Google Pixel for sponsoring our videos.
Did you guys empty your trash can, your trash bin on your phone?
Do you have more than 5 gigabytes left on your phone? But that's how it goes, and that's just life, and that's how we roll with it. Matt, I wanted to be super fancy about it and perfect, and Matt was just like, let's just film. And 47 episodes later, it's like 47 hours later of us in this conversation, and we just want you guys' conversations to flow just like this. It's not that hard to have a conversation like this when you find the correct person, the right person.
Yeah, yep. And guys, it's one of those things too, like, again, what his thought was, like when we started this thing was we want it to be perfect, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. It's like, hey dude, I hate to tell you this, we're gonna be pretty bad at this from the beginning, we're gonna have to just hammer through the tough times, we're gonna have microphone issues, we're gonna have Memory issues. We're going to have garage doors open in the middle of a podcast issues.
Knocks,
and all that. So, I think the way we're doing it is authentic as it comes. This literally started in a garage with two dudes and a camera and a tripod. So, and my handy dandy utility box that we use for box step ups and squats and holding our waters and stuff. So it serves multiple purposes. So yeah, we don't put a lot of effort into making this thing fancy or prancy or whatever else you want to call it. So this is just two dudes being real with y'all. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, you just gotta do it sometimes. I'm sure by episode 200 maybe we'll have it all figured out and have a better thing and more views, because that's what I was worried about, the YouTube, the subscribers, the views and the shares and the Spotify's and Apple Music and where do we put it all? Hey, I think we've reached out to the right people that needed to see it, and I think we're still gonna continue to hammer on.
Yeah, and I've been spreading the link that Judge Walker sent us about the radio show to some of our listeners that I get texts from pretty regularly. So
cool.
Let them know that that's going to be happening if they're available to tune in. But what do we got going?
Well, thank you to our supporters and those that watch, and please, and thank you for continuing to throw this content to the right people that need to hear it. My mom, my sister, they watch it routinely. My wife watches it routinely now, and they're up to date with our conversations. So I kind of wanted to lead this week into the last two episodes where we talked about values and where we talked about habits. Because my life has really changed after those two episodes. I started seeing my business and my life completely different. My spending has completely changed.
Yep.
I'm being more creative with my new agents that are hopping on board, and the money-making habit is really it's getting simpler now, which is my real estate career. And this month, actually, I am celebrating 20 years of being a licensed real estate salesperson in the state of Missouri.
Congratulations.
20 years.
Congratulations.
Some of you watching this video might not even be 20 years old. Well, thank you for watching.
Here's to another 20.
Yeah, here's to another 20.
Here's to
Cheers.
another 20.
Cheers. So yeah, August of 2007. Oh wait, I'm starting my 20th year.
Okay. Leading into
19 years in, I'm in my 20th year.
Love it. Love it, love it. So what we got is, I know last week Gerardo said habits. I like to use the word routine.
Yeah.
Habits, for me, whenever I hear habit, that sounds kind of like almost optional, where routine means it's part of the daily agenda. You know what I mean? So for me, routines are key. Routines are what have helped save my life, have helped keep me on a straight and narrow path, a lot straighter than more narrow than what I was doing before I got sober. So that's what I've leaned into, and I still lean into it today. People ask a lot, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? How are you doing all the things you're doing and still, staying where you're at? And for me, it's just, I need to stay busy, so the more I have on my schedule, the more I have on my calendar, the more productive I am. I can get more done on I find myself, with this battle every weekend pretty much, where I have a lot of free time on the weekend to do whatever it is I need or want to do, whether they be home tasks or chores or a to-do list that I've been working on. I will put that stuff off on the days that I have all the time in the world, and on the days I am jam-packed, I will get every single little thing that I need to get done that I didn't do on Saturday or Sunday. I'll figure out how to get it done during the week, because whenever I'm on a roll, they just keep rolling, so I don't want that momentum to stop. So for me, that's very important, just to keep your momentum just up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
And a great example of I say habits, he says routines. Find out the way it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
That's what life is all about. Detail it, how it works for you. The way Matt's brain works is structured differently.
Yeah.
The way my brain works, Matt would be like, how the heck do you even concentrate?
Yeah, well.
What do you do all day?
Well, I have people ask me that too. Trust me, you don't want to spend 5 minutes in my head. Yeah. It's not fun. It's not great, so I have to do certain things to get that thing lassoed in and reeled in, so I can keep a grip on it. So, so routines. Guess what? This week and next week, school's starting. Okay. So, parents, that means establishing your routines. Okay. Maybe the summer, We've kind of been up and down, hit and miss. A few weeks on, a
Staying
few
up
weeks
extra
off.
late.
Yeah, maybe having an extra,
Sleeping in
maybe
a few
having an extra
hours.
couple cold beers at night that you maybe wouldn't have normally had, and maybe you justify it because it feels like it's 119 outside. I get it, but you know, if that's where you're at, that's where you've been. Guess what? Today's a new day. You know, you got a new chance tomorrow to start fresh. You know, so instead of dwelling on where you've been the last 3 months of summer, whether you've been good, bad, or indifferent. That doesn't matter. You know, what matters is what you got staring at you right in front of you. So that's the rest of today and tomorrow, if we're lucky enough to get tomorrow. So make the most out of today.
I would also set some new routines with your kids going back to school. New routines and all that. Definitely continue, you parents or parents listening, set up routines and habits with your children of communicating. Listen to your kids. I don't think they really know how to lie yet. They figure out how to lie, but most of the time they're telling us the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and we had a dinner this week. We had to have a Cornejo board meeting because of the way my older one, my two of my girls, 2 out of 3 are communicating. They weren't communicating very nicely to each other. And the volume just gets louder and louder. So that was brought up, and it's back to that kind of just shut up and listen. Like if your kid has something to say, they're telling you for a reason.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to start communicating with them, really just shut up and listen. And you'll see it's amazing what you get to discover. And then the communication grows by just shutting up and listen. Who would have thought?
Well, I learned that lesson kind of an about-face, abrupt halt, if you will. So that hit me hard, and it's still something I live by today. You know, if I find myself moving a little too fast in my head, I need to go just sit and listen, because a lot of it for me, 2 ears, 1 mouth, there's a lot to that. Simple saying. You know, it's not all about me, and sometimes I let my ego get to that point where I put me most important above all and everything else. So whenever I get that, this guy got to witness me trying to exercise that ego the other day whenever I was running in 109 degree heat. What would normally have taken me about 45 minutes took me every bit of an hour and 13 minutes.
Which is a lot in running time, 15 minutes.
Yeah, in 109 degree heat. I'd like to really reemphasize that. So for me, everyone's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? You know, and I'm in good enough touch with my body now, like I could feel my ego trying to overwhelm who I am and what I am and what I'm about. So every now and again, I got to throw myself in the deep end of the pool and put myself in a tough situation to figure it out, you know? And what I mean by that is I got to put myself in very challenging, hard situations, and I got to solve that problem, you know? So for me, it was started from the gym, ran to Memorial Park. That first 3.1 miles went real nice. And let's just say the return trip did not. So, you know, I had a destination I had to get back to. I didn't have any other way to get there besides by foot. So, you know, you can sit here and stomp your feet and piss and moan all you want, or you can just keep moving, you know. So I wanted to bitch and moan. My ego was trying to tell me it was more important than, you know, my ego was looking for the easy way out, easy, simple, or short and simple. So for a split second, I thought about texting my client that I had at 4 o'clock to see if she was anywhere close by that she could pick me up. I thought about maybe looking to see if there's, stop. Just shut up and move. Like if you would stop talking yourself out of this, you'd already be back, you know? So for me, I had to figure that situation out, and what that is whenever I got done is my ego is humbled. So some people call that like an ego death. Which I've had multiple of those throughout my sober career, and it's honestly one of those things where you're kind of leveling up to that next phase in your life. You know, if you can have an ego death, where you know, different ego deaths I've had in my journey. First one was perfection isn't real. You know, that's how I centered my whole life around being perfect. Okay, well, getting sober and going through AA, rehab, and all that. I found out pretty quick that that's ridiculous to ask or expect of yourself, or anybody for that matter. So for me, that was a nice eye-opening ego death for me to realize that I don't have to be perfect. Nobody is, you know. So for me, that took a lot of weight off of my shoulders, just thinking that I have an expectation to be perfect every day. So every day I wouldn't be perfect. I looked at myself as a failure or a loser, and that's not a healthy way to go through life. So that was the first ego death I had, and that was pretty abrupt. That's also where I heard 2 ears, 1 mouth, because I thought everything was about me, and I was ready to let everybody know how awesome my story was. But then the first 2 people were talking about how they were abused by their uncles and by their stepdads, and I realized that I need to shut the fuck up and I need to listen, because none of that happened to me, so I can't imagine what that would have done to me. So I was in a place where I needed to zip it up and listen up. So another good ego death I had, I was hung up on an old relationship whenever I got sober, and this was like 2 years after getting sober. I was running right in front of your rental on West Main, and this song came on, and I don't know if it was just the right time, the right song, just everything came together perfectly. I still wasn't over that relationship, you know. Pretty rocky how it ended, and, you know, kind of some salt in the wound every day after that for quite a while. And it was affecting me, you know. But one day I was running my usual 10-mile route, and at some point I heard this song, and I kind of was just listening to the lyrics. I'd never heard the song. It wasn't on my playlist. It just popped up randomly. And it was called Drunk Me by Mitchell Tenpenny. And for whatever reason, hearing that song in that moment, I realized, like, I don't have to be held up on this anymore. Like, this is not, like, I'm not a prisoner to this person anymore. This person isn't a prisoner to me anymore. Like, we're doing our own things, you know. And for whatever reason, that evaporated right then and there. And it was literally right in front of your rental. And so I just put that song on repeat and listened to it the rest of the 7.5 miles I had left to run. So yeah, little ego deaths that I have, but I come through those ego deaths like.
And did you float back those 7 miles? Was it a different run?
Yeah. Because every time I've ran, like when I started running, it was like almost as punishment. Self-punishment for myself, for my past actions is the best way I can explain it. So I was running angry, you know. I was running like David Goggins talks, just so that was like my inner voice for a long time. But what I've noticed is that every run, I'm a little bit less angry at myself. You know, maybe by 1%, maybe by 0.5%, maybe not much at all. But every run has been a little bit better. And now I'm at a place where I run and I can enjoy myself. And I don't have that David Goggins, you know, drill instructor just screaming at me the entire time, because kind of like what we talked about last week is I'm at a place of peace with my life. Like, I'm not angry at myself every day anymore. I don't look at myself as the old me versus the person I am today, which I was hung up on in a very long time. You know, so ego deaths are a great thing, because it's kind of like a skin or a snake shedding its skin. Like, I'm a newer, better version of me, you know, and I'm unapologetically proud and grateful
Wonderful
of
way
that.
to put it.
Yeah. So.
And he doesn't run with his shirt off because of his ego.
Well,
it's only 120 degrees outside with 2,000% humidity.
I was Monday. No shirt. No shirt.
That's not an ego running. That's just
that was survival.
Anything touching the skin was just
survival tactics.
Worse.
Yeah, I think I told Ashley as we were wrapping up our appointment before this, I told her, I was like, by the time I got back to my car, like, I wasn't even sweating anymore. Like, it was not good. Like, so if you're not sweating in 109-degree heat, like, you need to get some water. You need to cool off ASAP. So, yeah, that was that. So if you saw me walk with my hands on top of my head, that was me.
And let go, don't ego. I like it. I think I'm gonna title it that.
There we go.
Let it go. We've talked about ego before in this, and it's you see. I mean, where do we create the ego? Where does ego get created from? Is it from like the things we see?
I think ego is just a narcissistic tendency that we all have at some point, you know, and depending on how much we feed it, it'll grow or it won't. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a cyst, you know. A cyst can grow if you're feeding it, but also it can stay dormant too, you know. So the way I look at it is, because that's how I used to live my life. It was alcoholic, narcissistic, hedonistic, like 3 super terrible principles that you should not base your life anywhere close to. You know, but I was a product of what I grew up in. You know, that's just people I grew up around. That's what we did, you know.
That's what you thought was normal?
Yeah. So, and, you know, it's one of those things where there were a lot of good times, a lot of fun times. Not saying there wasn't fun times and good times. It's not self-fulfilling. Like it's like a heroin addict. You know, you're using, but you can never get that initial. You can never get that initial high. So you gotta keep using more and more and more. Well, eventually, you know, living narcissistically, hedonistically as an alcoholic, like you're gonna run out of substance at some point. You know, so yes, all the things that you think that we want in the short term, they're not long-term commitments that are going to pay out. You know what I mean? These are like if you're a stock investor and you're buying short, selling short. You know, it's one of those deals where it's not a long-term investment. You know, so that's how I would kind of group in like what I was going through. It's a very short-term fix that's going to fizzle out, and you're going to be left alone. You know, or dead, or whatever it might be. You know, so that's something that, and anyone that is familiar, I've heard, and I don't know, it's been kind of ironic how this all came out kind of as I'm going through this process, but there's a dude that kind of lived that lifestyle, but like the highest level, you might know who I'm talking about, Dan Bilzerian. So Dan Bilzerian was a Navy SEAL, and then once he got out of the Navy SEALs, he basically became like a professional poker player, and through that he was very good at it. So he was $100 million. I don't even know how much money he was worth, but he had enough money to do whatever he wanted 100 times over.
And he was doing it,
and he lived absolutely like every guy thinks they would want to live. They had the fast cars, they had the 300-foot yachts, they had the 300-foot yachts with 30, 20-year-old girls and just him.
The $30 million homes.
Like anything they wanted, anything he wanted to do, like they did it, you know? So he was like the staple of, you know, this hedonistic lifestyle. You know, all the guys want to be just like this guy. Well, as of late, like I think over the last couple of years, he kind of went silent. Like he was all over social media. He had hundreds of millions of followers, like Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is.
He was
like,
a big deal.
He was all over the place.
Social media.
And you know, I lived a lot. I didn't live like him. My thought process was just like him. I was trying to feed that ego of who I thought I was supposed to be, you know. But in doing that, all you do is hurt people. You lie to people. You hurt yourself. You lie to yourself. Like you're left with just an empty shell of who you used to be, you know.
Well, one of my ego deaths thinking about this was when I pulled up with my boat, newer boat, my dream boat, to the dinner at the lake. Finally got to get to reservations, pull up with my girl, my wife, backing it in all nice, all these years of captaining, and like, man, nobody's up there clapping for me. Nobody's up there. Nobody's down here shaking my hand and asking me how I got this boat. And ooh, look at this boat.
Where's the
and
red
look at
carpet?
this yacht.
Bro?
Yeah, like, dude, I'm here. Like, what's up? Like, look, I made it. Like, come on, man. And then, of course, that yacht is worth 3 times as more. And then that one's worth 3 times as much more as this one. And then this guy's worth way 100 times more than anything I own. And that was a big ego death. It's like, hey, man, it's not about these things.
Well, it just makes you realize you're a small fish in a big pond, sir.
Yes. There's an ocean out there.
Yeah.
And there's ocean liners.
Yeah.
And there's
cruise ships.
It just, you want to, and that was a big thing that I focused on too, like being in the business world. And Dan Bilzerian, right? Like the money.
The suits, the cars.
Money takes care of the ego and da-da-da. And it's just like, those people are just buying stuff because they don't know how to be happy.
Yeah.
Is what it's kind of boiling down. And I've been around those beyond wealthy people who are flying their jets and their friends to other places in the country where the really happy guy doesn't have a jet and he's worth 300 times as much as these guys. Mm-hmm. He drives a Honda Odyssey because that's his favorite. That's his grandkid's favorite car, and he picks him up from school every day. This guy's worth way more and he's happy. And nothing's changed on his wife's face. She still loves flowers and daisies, and they're still together. And then you see the other couple that has all the things, and it's just like stress. Oh, this isn't right. Oh my God, they're making us wait an extra 5 minutes. We had reservations. Oh my God, my lobster isn't cooked right. There's a water spot on this knife. You know, I'm just like, we're in a restaurant. Again, I've learned, and my ego is way gone, way back there, and I don't think we deserve this nice of a lifestyle.
Well,
that we get to have.
Here's what I'll say. For those people that are buying the boats and the houses and the cars and
the second homes.
Yes. If you have a cup and you cut the bottom off and you're pouring and trying to fill that cup up, that's what that's like. That's how that race is going to go. You're never going to fill that cup, And for me, I had to find out, at rock bottom. I had to find out sitting in jail on, 40 WIs and 5 years in jail is what I had looking forward to. So
someone listen.
So here's the deal. So I lived that lifestyle, tried to do all the things and do all the things and do all the things, and all I was left with was alone, empty, and miserable. And in jail.
But your ego
and in
was
jail.
There.
And that was the first time that it actually hit me that, dude, either you need to change or you're going to die. Like, what do you want to do? It's not sustainable to live that way, And at that point, I didn't care if I was alive or dead, If my ego,
think you even knew if you were alive.
If my ego was really in charge, I would have been dead long before I ever made it sober. Because there were days where I wanted to be dead, There were, and there were days where maybe I didn't want to be dead, but boy, I was hungover like I felt like I was dead or dying, And that's just not a good way, not a healthy way to live.
Someone watched the podcast for the first time. They're like, Matt had 4 DWIs.
Yeah.
And they're like, how is he not in jail still? I was like, watch and listen.
I can't explain it. I didn't know. I thought I was going to jail for 5 years, or prison for 5 years. I thought that's what I was doing. So again, if you just start doing the next right thing, good things will will start to happen. If you haven't seen a whole lot of success or any of that, just keep doing the next right thing. And eventually, like I said, I can't explain all the things that have happened in the time frame in which they have fallen, and just everything has fallen into place the way it's supposed to. And and again, I don't need to know why. I'm just grateful that it has. And gratitude's an important thing to have. But just to circle back to the Dan Bilzerian, so he took like a 2-year hiatus where I think he wrote a book, and then he also took another year where he was basically thinning himself out on all the obsessions that he was on. All the OCD stuff, all the drugs, the alcohol, took a year just to get away from that lifestyle, So he gave up his weed addiction, or he worked on his weed addiction, so he's over that. Worked on his alcohol. He's a single, single women only, He's only with one person at a time, instead of 20, 25-year-olds, on a yacht. And everybody's been asking him. He's been on like a big podcast tour because he's also running for Congress in Florida. So he, but he had to clean up his life, But he's the guy that's out there now running for political office saying, look, I did all those things. Like, it is not fulfilling. Like, the only thing that makes me happy now is and it's crazy because this guy still has all of his money, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, he doesn't need to do any of this stuff, but he is, because he's like, somebody's got to do this or we're done, So he's doing this for a higher purpose. But he's like, look, I've lived all of the lifestyles that any guy could ever think that they want to do. He's like, and all it left me was dead, empty, and broken, unfulfilled, miserable, like just not happy, So if you guys are looking for somebody that can really relate, that has truly been on the 300-foot yachts, that has bought all the boats and the private jets and all that, listen to him talk, because honestly, like, this guy has lived it, and he's kind of mimicking what I've been saying since I got sober. So, something to think about.
And what we as teenagers and college students and small business owners thought we would get to that point. Like, there's a great way to learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah. And again, that's part of my message, and part of kind of what got this podcast going was, look, if we can get one person to listen, and maybe we can save one person's life, or maybe get somebody to better their life from listening to these two doofuses talk about how we ain't perfect, and how this, and just kind of going over some of the things we do to overcome tough times or challenging times of our life, then it's worth it. And that's
to realize,
still our message.
Yeah, to realize you're not alone. Like Matt said, he stepped in some rooms and, oh my God, these people are struggling worse than I am. Like, I thought I had it bad. Let me go help them. I've been in business rooms where, like, he's a millionaire. Why is he sad? He's a millionaire. Why is he getting divorced? Like, doesn't money solve all your problems? And no, it's you that solves your problems. It's your brain that can solve your problems. It's how you feel. It's love that solves your problems. So.
Well, and again, guys, this is something that I've had to just, I've said this from the beginning. Like whenever I got sober, I took 5 years to just work on myself before I looked anywhere remotely outside. So that's 5 years of just working on me. And I needed every bit of that. I'm still working on myself today, and it's been over 7 years. But so you've got to make those changes in order just to push through to get through that other side. Literally to get to the best version of yourself. So for me, it's just every day I got to do my things. And once those boxes are checked, then you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to go to sleep, you want to go watch a movie, whatever it is, but not until the boxes are checked on the daily routines.
And that's powerful to say, am I going to be the best version of myself every day? What you just said.
Yeah, it's the challenge. It's a challenge I promote myself
and
with.
You look in the mirror every morning, and if you ask yourself, that could completely change your day and outlook on life. And if you're not going to be, get some help. Find somebody that needs more help than you do.
Yeah. Well, and again, it sounds corny and it's something we've heard all this time, but I've never agreed with it more in my life than I do today, than I did yesterday, the day before that. But in order to be happy in life, like it starts inside. If you're not happy with yourself, like in whatever way, what you look like in the mirror, how you think about yourself because of past actions or of an old version of you or whatever it is, like if your parents were hard on you, if you were terrible to your parents, like we've all done bad shit. We've all done things we wish we could take back. We all wish we could do things differently, but guess what? We can't, So that's where that conversation stops, The only thing I would add to that is if you haven't apologized or made amends to that wrongdoing that you did and you still can, do it. And not for as much as you might mean it for the other person, that's going to set your soul free, And when I didn't realize that until I started doing that myself, and I was so nervous. I was literally talking I'd sit in the truck just trying to pep talk myself up to get out to go talk to this person. And every single person I talked to is like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry about that, man. I couldn't believe I did that. It was a terrible thing to do. It's like, dude, you're fine. Like, nobody took it worse than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, you get through all that, and this whole time I've been kicking the shit out of myself inside and out. For every single one of those things I had to go back and work on, you know what I mean, or apologize for. And the whole time, nobody that I was literally putting the gun to my head like, you're a terrible person, like none of those people felt it even remotely close to as bad as I did. So for me, like, I'm always going to be the worst judge of character on myself. Like, there's nothing that my dad can say, that Gerardo could say, that some random stranger could say to me, call me a dumb SOB or whatever. Like, I'll probably agree with you. Yeah, you're right. But again, I'm my own harshest critic. Like, he's not going to dictate. He's not going to wreck my day because he says something mean to me. The guy outside on the street that cut me off in traffic, why would I let that person wreck my day? Like, that means you're letting other people control you. So today I have a better control over myself, my temper, my patience, just every aspect of it, but it's a work in progress. So
every day.
Just keep at it, guys. Again, you're not going to be perfect every day. I'm not. I've already messed up today too. So guess what? I just got to keep pushing forward and try and do better.
Try to be the best version of yourself every day. It starts with you.
Yep. So parents, get your routines ready. It starts next week. Now, if you're trying to better yourself from where you were last year, one small suggestion, write out your routines that you're going to start doing starting this coming Monday or whenever the kids start school and you got your life back, kind of. Whatever that routine is, if you're trying to do better than last year, challenge yourself. Put some harder things on there. If you're wanting to maybe walk 3 days a week, make it 4. If you want to lose 5 pounds, try and lose 10. Don't be satisfied if you hit those goals or whatever. Like, set your goals so it's something that you're not ever attaining. You're never crossing that finish line. But it's just something you're doing for yourself every day.
For yourself.
For yourself. Because again, happiness starts in here and it radiates out. Ooh. So if you're married or you're not married, no one else is going to make you happy besides you. Okay? It's not his wife's job to make him happy. It's not Gerardo's job to make Stacy happy. Stacy's got to be happy with herself. And then that radiates to him.
And it's
to the kids.
And it's a journey, and then we all do it together.
Yeah. So I did have one of my clients mention that. She said, her husband came up and said, well, I just don't know what you want me to do. I don't know how to make you happy. And And it was very powerful. I was like, wait, say that again. Like, I wanted to write it down. She goes, well, why are you trying to make me, like, your job isn't to make me happy. Like, your job is to be happy with yourself. And then he broke down because he was not happy with himself. And it was like a dare to be great moment.
Can any of you relate to that?
Yeah. So if you're
It's
trying to
happening
make,
to other people too.
because guess what? I used to try and make everybody happy, and guess what I did? I made myself miserable because I didn't like myself.
Robin Williams just came to mind. Chris Farley just comes to mind.
Yeah.
Man. But
Yep.
never too late to learn. Cheers. Stay hydrated.
Cheers to 20 years.
Cheers to 20 years. We'll see you on the radio Saturday.
Oh, yeah, Saturday morning.
8 a.m. The link will be on the description.
Check us out at KWOS.
KWOS. Thank you for watching the Not So Perfect podcast.
Till next time. Peace.
Stay hydrated.